Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in today's episode of the Wrestling Revisit, I am going to be doing a review of NXT Takeover New Orleans from 2018. So first up on the card, we had the North American title ladder match where Adam Cole defeated EC3, Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Killian Dane to become the first ever North American champion. And yeah, this is a top tier ladder match. Like, I can try and go through my highlights in the match, but it's pretty much the whole match is just so good. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's probably free on WWE's YouTube or the NXT channel's YouTube. Go and check that out. It is such a good match. But yeah, as far as the individuals go, like, Cole and EC3 are very similar, so that worked well. You also had Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, who were the high flyers of the match, and then Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane were like the big powerhouses. And yeah, like, the chemistry just between everybody was so good. Like, everything was kind of so smoothly transitioned between, and everything worked really well. That even the big, like, well, I don't say big spots, but like throughout the match there was just multiple big spots, which is why this is, you know, seen as one of the best ladder matches like ever. But yeah, I think I don't know, like, the one part I feel sorry for the wrestlers almost is that there was never a time where like they had time to kind of, you know, rest and stuff. Like, all of them were all like part of this match for a very long time, unless they did like one of the bigger spots, like the two big ladder spots where Killian Dane took out Adam Cole and Ricochet, and Lars Sullivan took out EC3, Velveteen Dream. But then they do just beat the shit out of each other afterwards as well. So yeah, and they were like innovative spots as well, the two like on the outside as well instead of being on the inside. But yeah, I feel like, you know, out of the two, probably Cole, Dane, and Ricochet was worse. It's like Dane got hurt because he was doing it like straight between his legs. Cole got taken out pretty badly from being on his shoulders, and Ricochet, I believe, was the one on the ladder, so that was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know why you would go split-legged through a ladder, because you're just gonna get really badly hurt. Cole practically stole the match. You know, we saw I can't, it's been a while since I watched this one, but yeah, you know, he kind of like pushed the person off the edge. I can't remember, I want to say it was either Ricochet or EC3 off of the ladder, and he got the win for this one. And yeah, he made a great first North American champion, and then obviously it helped propel him up to the main event scene as well. For me, this match, Lars Sullivan and EC3 were probably the MVPs of the match. Like, I say that everyone was involved regularly, but these two seem to be involved with pretty much everything. But yeah, Cole was, like, as I said, a great person to have as the first North American champion. He'd go on to have an absolutely fantastic match with Ricochet for the title, I think, a couple of months later. And yeah, as I said, as far as ladder matches go, there's a reason why it's got 5 stars. I know some people don't like the star system. I kind of do, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, this was just a fantastic match from start to finish, and it never let up. It was high octane throughout, and yeah, I say, like, I have nothing negative to say about this one. It is absolutely fantastic. Following that, we had Shaina defeat Ember to become the new NXT Women's Champion. And for me, this was match of the night. I thought they both went out there and absolutely killed it. I know a lot of people enjoy the Gano and Champa match more. I know some people enjoy Andrade and Black more, which I'll talk about both of those when we get to them. But for me, I thought this was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. I thought the psychology, the match worked really well. The high-flying dynamic of Ember Moon against the more submission-based and like more traditional wrestling of Shayna Baszler, I feel like just as a partnership was so good. The pacing throughout was very good as well, and yeah, it's a shame that these two only had like a handful of matches, because, you know, even their match at the Takeover before this, I can't remember which one it was. I don't think it was Phoenix. It was Philadelphia. The match they had at Takeover Philadelphia I thought was great as well, but this one outshone it massively. Baszler sold the arm like so well, like to a point where, like, even though she had dislocated it, and whether I mean, I assume like you can't fake that kind of thing, but just shoving her arm into the post multiple times to pop it back into place looked awful, and kind of gave me that bit more of respect for Shayna Baszler going forward. And it's just a shame that, you know, nothing really came of Shayna Baszler on the main roster. But for me, this was absolute peak Shayna Baszler. I thought that she was fantastic throughout this one. You know, even when her arm was hurt before she popped it back into place, she was using her feet and her legs to strike Ember Moon instead of her arms. Moon had great awareness to escape the Karavuda clutch multiple times. It was just a shame that on the last attempt it kind of got transitioned lovely. That's not a word. It just got conditioned really nicely from the moon going for the eclipse and reversed it into a Karavuda clutch, which was done so seamlessly. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and Moon looked great in defeat. She took a lot of offense and spent a lot of time in the clutch as well. So yeah, for me, I put it down in my lists as like one of the higher women's matches in WWE. I'd argue it's probably one of the best women's matches in WWE history. And I know that's like saying a lot considering some of the main roster stuff we've got, but this match is just absolutely brilliant from start to finish. So yeah, for me, as I said, probably one of the best women's matches of all time for WWE. Following that, we had the Undisputed Era, which was supposed to be Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, but Bobby Fish got injured, so Adam Cole took the place. So, you know, respect to Adam Cole, who not only did like one of the best ladder matches of all time, but then also came back out and did a tag team match as well. They defeated Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne, as well as the Authors of Pain, to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. And yeah, another absolutely fantastic match. AOP were dominant from the start, especially for the first half of the match, which made a lot of sense with them being like not only the more powerful team, but by far the most powerful team. If you look at the size of like Dunn, Strong, O'Reilly and Cole, you know, these guys tower over pretty much everybody. Cole was taken out very early on. He took an announce table spot, which made perfect sense with him obviously doing the ladder match. He needed time to recover for the finish. And yeah, I think one thing I did really love about this is, to start with, there was really no legal competitor. The referee was showing a lot of leniency about who was like in the match and who wasn't in the match, and people were just beating the crap out of each other. And yeah, it worked really well. I feel like multi-team matches, the triple threat matches, fatal four-way tag team matches, they should just be the tornado tag style rather than having to tag in and out. And if you're going to do tagging in and out, just put the amount of teams in the match. One person of that team should be in the ring. So if it's fatal four-way match, 4 people start in the ring. This bloody crappy 2 people start when there's 4 teams. I hate that rule so much, and I will keep saying it on this channel until there's something done about it, because I've got a big channel and all this sort of, you know what I mean. It's just a rubbish rule. But yes, Kyle O'Reilly for me was the MVP of the match. He took a absolute beating throughout the match, and obviously with Cole already wrestled, he was kind of just as there as a singles guy defending for a tag team. And yeah, I feel like the one part that I really enjoyed, I think he took a German suplex from either Akam or Razor, and he kind of got up as if he was going to no-sell it and then just fell back through the ropes. It's quite funny, but it showed like the kind of the trying of resiliency from Kyle O'Reilly when, you know, you could clearly see that he had the absolute crap being out of him. But yeah, the Roderick Strong heel turn was done brilliantly. The fact that he broke up the pin to essentially get him and Dunn the win was very well done. For me, Roderick Strong was used a lot better in NXT than he is now, but then the Undisputed Era felt like a fever dream of a time in NXT. You know, the Undisputed Era were absolutely fantastic, and him being part of it probably was like, again, prime Roderick Strong that I've seen. I know that he was in Ring of Honor and he did a lot of good stuff in Ring of Honor. I just simply haven't seen it. Like, where I know Roderick Strong best is part of the UE. But yes, the reaction of Cole and O'Reilly with Strong turning heel, I thought was priceless. So that was very funny. But yeah, this, as I said, did Strong the world good as far as his NXT career went, because it wasn't really doing much beforehand. But turning heel and joining the Undisputed Era was great for him. And yeah, the Undisputed Era was so good. It's a shame that we only got like a little piece of them on the main roster and the build to Survivor Series 2019. It really should have and could have been a lot more, but we kind of knew that Vince wasn't going to do much with them on the main roster. So I'm kind of glad that they all went to AEW instead, even though I'm not a massive fan of the Paragon now. But you know, I mean, I look back on NXT and one of the first things I think of is the Undisputed Era. So, but yeah, as a whole, this match was really short, but I think it worked really well. Obviously, again, the chemistry and the pacing was done very well. And yeah, like everything for this worked, and they had like the heel turn, which made it even more intriguing. And yeah, it was a very good match. After that, we had Aleister Black defeat Andrade to become the new NXT champion, and this is a fantastic match. This is like so good. I cannot compliment this match enough. I pray we get this side of Andrade on the main roster soon, or at any point. I hope that we get this match, Black versus Andrade, on the main roster very soon, maybe over a championship, though I'm not sure which championship it will be, as Fatu does have the United States Championship. But You know, 80% of the time, this and the Baszler versus Moon match get on like most of my lists of like favorite matches. And yeah, I can, every time I watch it, I'm reminded why. It is so good. The chemistry between these two is absolutely spot on, and the resiliency of them both throughout as well. It is fantastic. I know it's kind of a bit of no selling, but yeah, it's just throughout the match they were just doing harder hitting moves, bigger moves, and just both of them were refusing to go down throughout. It kind of felt more, kind of in a way, it feels like a very good AEW match now, when AEW wasn't a thing. But yeah, this was like the prime time of TakeOver, kind of outdoing the main roster. And the fact that this was WrestleMania weekend as well kind of said a lot about how much NXT were willing to go out and steal the show, which in my opinion they kind of did. This was a lot better than WrestleMania 34, I believe. And yeah, I said this is one of the massive highlights of that weekend. I love the fact that Zelina was getting involved, you know, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed about Andrade matches, with the fact that Zelina actually got physically involved. She would do a Hurricane Rana into the steps most of the time. And yeah, if you look at Zelina like there, you could see she's very comfortable, very outgoing. She probably fits the heel character a lot more to what she's doing now. I know that she's like become leaps and bounds from where she was as far as wrestling goes, but I feel like Zelina as a heel and as a manager, and then sometimes wrestling, I feel like would be a lot better off now. And especially if she's paired up with Andrade, with them both being on SmackDown, it's one of the things I was genuinely really hoping we would see on something we would see this year in WWE, but it doesn't seem like we're going that way. But yeah, so this was massively high octane throughout. Neither of the guys really let up at any point during this one. There was only like a couple of moments where the match kind of stops a little bit so they can both recover. But yeah, so both of these guys work so well together. I cannot put this like across enough about how good the pairing is between Andrade and Aleister Black. You know, they were countering counters that they countered with other counters. You know, it was absolutely brilliant throughout. But yeah, I put this match up against any other NXT match, just as like one of the best ones, especially for the men. But yeah, so this era of NXT is just a massive fever dream, because it felt like it went on for ages, and it really didn't. But it was so good that I can't say enough good about the whole NXT era back in, and this match especially. And finally, in the main event, we had the unsanctioned match between Johnny Gargano defeating Tommaso Ciampa to get his job back, essentially. But yeah, there's no point me trying to sit here and break down the kind of wrestling that they did. These two went out there and they beat the piss out of each other for what felt like 45 minutes. I don't think it was quite that long, or it might have been, to be fair. But it was long, but like it didn't work against it, which was always good. But yeah, this was just a lot of fun, in my opinion. This is the kind of stuff I really like. I like the extreme stuff, and these two were not letting up at all. Probably one of the all-timer not pay-per-view. Well, this is an all-timer takeover, but this is one of probably an all-timer feud as well. You know, these two are going to be associated with each other like through like forever, and they're going to be, when people think of Gargano and Ciampa, I don't think they're quite going to think of DIY. I know they're teaming at the minute. I think they're going to think of the feud that they have, which pretty much started off with this one. Then they had the street fight in Chicago, and then they had some other matches down the line as well, and it kind of gets all jumbled up. And then they have the one final beat, which was crap. But you know, for now, just for this, it was absolutely fantastic. And using the crutch and the brace throughout this one was great storytelling from a match point of view, just because it was the two things that kind of had been associated with this feud because of Ciampa getting injured, and then it being used against Gargano like in the build up to this match as well. The headshot from Ciampa was absolutely brutal, and yeah, taking the crutch from a fan, it was really funny and really cruel, but I feel like the fan was probably planned, so I don't feel like it was a particularly bad thing, but it looked bad and it helped Ciampa get heat, which is obviously the whole point of the match. The submission felt personal, as far as like, again, from match storytelling goes. You know, having Ciampa tap out to Gargano was probably the best way they could have gone with this one. I don't think it hurt Ciampa at all. There's times where, like, especially in like main event matches, where I feel that a tapping out can sometimes make someone look really weak. It certainly wasn't the case here, and then as you went on and had like a fantastic few matches. But yeah, said from a storytelling wise, as far as the feud goes and as far as the match goes, this is an absolute masterpiece. In my opinion, this is the best match that these two had from that era. I know a lot of people kind of prefer the Street Fighter as well, and maybe some of the other ones, but for me, this is kind of peak match-wise for Gargano and Champa. And yeah, I feel like everything worked out really well here. The finish was very good, with Champa trying to manipulate Johnny Gargano into kind of thinking that he'd forgiven him, and then he tries to use the clutch. Oh no, he didn't. He tries to use the brace, and then Johnny Gargano like immediately knew he was lying. It was almost like he double bluffed him. And yeah, it was just a fantastic way to end the match. And yeah, as I said, I can't say enough good stuff about this match either. I know I've said that for like every single match, but yeah, it's just been absolutely, it's just a fantastic watch in general, is TakeOver New Orleans. And yeah, this is a great first match for a massive feud. So those are my thoughts and opinions on NXT Takeover New Orleans from 2018. Do put down in the comments below your thoughts on the show, what you enjoyed particularly about the match, any matches that you thought was match of the night. And yeah, any other takeovers you'd like me to revisit in the future, do put them down below as well. I am a big fan of going back and watching these old NXT takeovers because they are so good, and they're full of just the top quality of wrestling, especially in a time where WWE on the main roster wasn't so great. This is like a breath of fresh air. Like, and say most weekends for pay-per-views, NXT takeovers were outshining main roster stuff. So yeah, say do comment below some takeovers I should check out. And yeah, say any other shows you want me to revisit as well. Some ones I know I've got coming up on the channel because they are already recorded is Evolution, which will be out in a few weeks, and SummerSlam 2005, which will come out just before SummerSlam, I believe, for this year. So do stick around for those. Do subscribe. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by SummerSlam, so do stick around for those. Yeah, say do suggest any other pay-per-views from AEW, NXT, WWE that I should check out, and I will do a revisit for those as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.